MiniWarGaming rules you got wrong.
Hey everybody, Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and welcome to this week's Rules You Got Wrong, the show where we respond to your comments, where you point out things that you think we got wrong, and we talk about whether you're right or whether you were wrong. And I'm going to be starting off today's 40K edition of this show based on my couple of beat map bat reps, the Traitor Guard versus Space Wolves and Word Bearers versus Space Wolves. So let's start with the Traitor Guard one. First off, there actually weren't many rules issues with this one, at least that you pointed out. But the biggest issue people had is that I called it Traitor Guard and I didn't use the rules for Imperial Armor 13. And to be honest, I didn't even think about that. I just was playing Astra Militarum and I wanted to make it Fall of Cadia or Time of Ending stuff. And so I just said, well, I'll be the one that's a traitor then. So I called them Traitor Guard. So I know there are rules for actual like Traitor Legion or Traitor Guard-ish stuff in the Imperial Armor. I think it's volume 13. I don't remember the exact number. But we do have that book, so maybe I'll take a look at that and do that in the future. The main thing that we forgot, and I think we got this later on, Lieutenant Marco says, when the Wolfen charged the first unit Ogren, you guys forgot about the 2 hits of 6 equals roll another hit from the formation. Also the claws have shred. And yeah, I think we forgot that a couple times. When you roll to hit, if you bring the murder pack, then when you roll to hit with the Wolfen, any 6s allow you to take another attack, and that I think that continues. I think those could actually, if they're 6s, get you even more attacks. Not that the Wolfen normally need those extra attacks, but just in case, it actually might make a difference. But that was the main one. I know we had a couple other rules issues that people pointed out, and then they realized that we corrected them. Like for example, when we were fighting the Armored Sentinels, I was having them hit the armor 10, but they're walkers, you hit the front armor, so I just derped on that one. But we did fix it later on, and so that's why I didn't bother really reading those comments, because even those comments replied to themselves saying that that they saw that we fixed it. And I realized the scenario ended up being very one-sided. People were complaining that, well, at least it was one-sided against me, so you didn't think that I was like gaming it against my opponent or something. It looked fun. It just the scenario looked interesting, and then when we played it, I realized just how crappy my list was when all of a sudden I couldn't really shoot. And that worked really against me, and it just made it more one-sided. But hey, that happens sometimes. And since we pretty much show you every battle report we create, then you get to see the bad ones along with the good. Next is the Vault 1 Word Bearers versus Space Wolves. This one was an interesting battle report. Us both getting a free Bloodthirster thanks to the Empyric Storms throughout the game. Me getting a Dark Apotheosis pretty much right at the beginning and getting a free Demon Prince. And then summoning another Bloodthirster with my Sorcerer by possessing him. So it was a very interesting game, and it turned out to be very close. We like that. Dave Bryan points out you get a 5-up invuln on the Possessed because they're demons. I did forget that near the beginning of the game, and then later in the game I started remembering that, oh yeah, they're demons, I get 5-up invulns. So that could have made a difference. Colonel Cabbage, Matt, the second effect from Psychic Devastation occurs after the Deny the Witch and does not allow another Deny the Witch for the second set. So we could have targeted units with Adamantium Will for the second Vortex. So basically one of the cards that we drew from the Empyric Storms says that it doubles the effect of any psychic power. So for example, if it's a blessing, and you can bless a unit and then immediately bless another unit. And your opponent only gets to try to Deny the Witch on the first one, and if he succeeds, then you don't get the second one. So basically it's an all or nothing thing. And so I was telling him, you need to make sure you tell me there are 2 targets for your Vortex, because if either of them go on Adamantium Will, then I get the +1. And so he just didn't target anything with Adamantium Will. But you're right, he only had to worry about it for the first one. The second one, I can't deny, and so he could target whatever the heck he wants. So it was kind of fun watching all those vortexes just going through my lines. Well, fun for you, the viewer, maybe. But that was hard for me to watch it just go through and devastate everything. But it was really fun too. F-Hat, Slaanesh Demon Princes have fleet. Could have re-rolled charge turn 1 against the Wolfen. Yeah, I just forgot that. Demon Prince of Slaanesh, that gives them fleet. Skulls at 4150, the fight of Wolfen versus Bloodthirster. If for whatever reason initiative pylon does not get into base contact, all subsequent initiative steps are lost. You're absolutely right, so that could have made a difference in that combat. So basically, if you have like this multiple combat going on, and at a high initiative step, something piles in but does not get close enough to attack, it actually turns off the rest of the combat. I'm not sure why that is the rule. It seems kind of weird that, oh, everybody else just doesn't get to attack because the one guy didn't. But it is in the rules that the combat immediately ends and you go and resolve it. So it's really a strange rule. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's there. So yeah, you got to do that. Mr. Ed 2577. Demon Princes are jump infantry, effectively while on the ground, so they could both have re-rolled 1 die from any failed charges as long as they did not move 12 in the movement phase. Okay, so there's actually a couple things wrong with that. Demon Princes are not jump infantry. They only are if they have wings. Now I know the model had wings, but when you do Dark Apotheosis, in other words, when you roll on the Champion of Chaos to cast boons and you get to turn into a Demon Prince, all it gets is power armor. It doesn't actually get wings. So that Demon Prince did not have wings. Second off, they're not just effectively jump infantry if they have wings. They're jump monstrous creatures which move like jump infantry. So it's not that if they did not move 12 in the movement phase, it's if they didn't use their wings in the movement phase, because there's a very big difference. I could use my wings and move 6 inches. For example, if I want to hop over something, and I didn't move 12, but I still wouldn't be able to re-roll my charge distance in the assault phase. Which brings me to point number 3 of what you said. If you are jump infantry and you didn't use your jump pack or your jump rule in the movement phase, you don't get to re-roll 1 die when charging. You re-roll the entire charge. Fleet lets you re-roll 1 die or both dice when you're doing charges, but jump packs or jump infantry only lets you re-roll the entire charge distance. So 3 things wrong with that. I can see the whole thinking they were jump because the model itself had wings, but that's just because those are the models that we have for Demon Princes. Drakair 1085. The Wolflord has 2 relics. FAQ. Yeah, the FAQ does not allow that anymore. You can only take 1 relic unless it specifically says otherwise, and not just in the sense where it doesn't tell you that you can only bring 1, but essentially the FAQ has nerfed that, so people can't take more than 1 relic. I don't like that. I can see why they did it, but I still don't like it. But it is there. In the end, I don't think it made a huge difference, but it could have. So, yeah, it was a good game either way, so little things like that won't matter too much. Admiral, Matt, you should have kept the 64 result for Chaos Boons and thus get more boons for your Demon Prince, as you can take 1 or both. I looked at that and I could find no way to do that. So essentially what he was saying is that because I get 2 rolls when I have the favored scions, although I'm going to talk about that in a second, why I shouldn't have gotten 2 rolls, and I can choose to keep 1 or both. I can't choose to not use either in case I get spawn. But the thing is, the Demon Prince is no longer that champion. I know fluff-wise the Demon Prince is the champion, but when you look at the rules and you read the rules for how the Dark Apotheosis or turning into a spawn works, it's a new model, and so it's no longer the champion. So for example, I'll read it. The champion is transformed into a Chaos Spawn, or in the case of Dark Apotheosis, you replace Chaos Spawn with Demon Prince with power armor. So let's just say Demon Prince with power armor. The champion is transformed into a Demon Prince with power armor. Place a spare Demon Prince model with full wounds within 3 inches of the champion and more than 1 inch from enemies. Then remove the champion model from play. If the Demon Prince can't be placed, you just remove the champion. The champion only counts as killed once this Demon Prince is removed as a casualty or cannot be placed. The champion is now a separate, unengaged, non-scoring unit that retains none of the champion's special rules or war gear. It does, however, retain the Mark of Chaos, if it had one. In this case, Demon. It gets the same Demon level. If it was your Warlord, it remains your Warlord, but loses his Warlord trait. And so it says it doesn't retain any of its special rules. So I couldn't, by reading that, figure out how you could say, well, I'll turn it to a Demon Prince and then apply this other one as well to it. And so I just didn't do that. Maybe you could read it to be able to finagle that into it, but it feels like you're not supposed to. Like, for example, if he had received Chaos Boons throughout the game and then turned into a Demon Prince, he wouldn't retain any of those boons. So I don't feel that I should have applied that, which is why I decided not to, rather than trying to do it. But then, Arglamir points this out. You can't actually roll twice in the Chaos Boon table at the start of your turn when you use the 8-fold path roll from the Word Bearers detachment. Favored scions specify that it only gives you 2 rolls when you get to roll on the Chaos Boon table as a result of the Champion of Chaos special rule. And the Champion of Chaos special rule says that they must issue and accept challenges, and whenever the champion itself kills an enemy character, and it doesn't have to be in a challenge, by the way, it could be shooting attack, could be close combat, but not sweeping advance, then they get to roll on the Chaos Boons table. But the 8-fold path rule just says that choose any character and roll on Chaos Boons. And so that could be a character without the Champion of Chaos special rule. That's part of that detachment. And so, like, for example, a Demon Prince could be in there because he's not a Champion of Chaos. So you could actually choose that Demon Prince and roll on the Chaos Boons table as well. So yeah, you're right. You couldn't actually roll twice as a result of that. I could only roll twice whenever I kill a character. And so I was making a lot of decisions based off of that. I'm like, okay, I won't have the possessed roll on the Chaos Boons because I want somebody who can roll twice. So I got to choose somebody from the Chaos Warband. So I may have actually chose the possessed more often. The Black Crusade detachment from Traitor's Hate, on the other hand, specifically states that you do get 2 rolls if you have favored scions. So, yeah. Kovlasky, what a crazy game. That was so entertaining. Chris is a great opponent, very cheerful and friendly. I hope you will come again. James. Yeah, sorry. There's something got blocked out in the text there. But at the 2-hour mark, Bloodthirsters don't have the Veteran of the Long War, as this is a Chaos Space Marine thing. That's correct. They have Hatred, so they can reroll to hit in the first round of close combat against anyone and anything. Yeah, I think I got that mixed up. Because Demon Princes have Veterans of the Long War, but Bloodthirsters are not Chaos Space Marines. They are a Chaos Demon, and so do not have Veterans of the Long War. But they do have Hatred, so I could have rerolled that first round. And that's it for my comments. Not as many as past battle reports.
Starting off the whole thing here, we've got Night Lords versus Raven Guard in the Horus Heresy Battle Report, episode 63. Stephen P says, 7 minutes, 44 seconds. Pretty sure you have a 5-up cover save for being out in the open and +1 for night fighting. Night Lord special rule for those hits on the Sicaran.
So for that one, the bonus, the 5-up cover save for being in the open, you do have to be Legions of Astartes to get that. The one that you get regardless if you're Legions of Astartes or not is the Night Vision. So the Sicaran had Night Vision, he just didn't get the 5-up cover save for being Night Lord standing in the open turn 1.
All right. Next up we have Joseph Limentone. Pretty certain... Ooh. Okay, I'm pretty certain when you use Moan with Corax, he does not get the reroll for reserves rolls. That is a Warlord trait for Maun?
Mon. I think Mon.
Mon. Corax supersedes it with his trait for future reference.
Correct. Even though Isaac didn't really get to make use of that, yeah, it is Mon's Warlord trait, so he doesn't get the Warlord trait bonus. He still gets his crazy Vox thing. He's got a special Vox that I think helps with reserves, but yeah, you don't get the reroll. So even though Isaac didn't get to use that, I'm going to declare myself the winner of that battle report because he's a cheater.
All right, that's for the internet to see. Mac Bailey? Bailey. All right. You don't get preferred enemy against Corax. He is a monstrous creature, not infantry.
No, he's not. He's jump infantry. Sorry, dude.
All right. Kivan. Sticking with that one. Preferred enemy infantry works on jump infantry. Aren't those different kinds of units?
Nope. Jump infantry are still infantry, so that is perfectly A-OK on that one. They get the additional subtype of like jump, but yeah, they're still infantry models. So I still get that bonus.
All right, and lastly we have K-123. At 38 minutes, you forgot the Hammer of Wraths, though not sure it would have helped very much.
You are correct, and you are correct. I got beat pretty bad. Like, really bad.
All right, do you want to read the next ones?
Okay.
Because this one...
All right, we're going to change theme here. Because Quirk checked on these ones for me as I was filming the other day. So this is for Alpha Legion versus Imperial Fists, Horus Heresy Battle Report, episode 64. First things first is Pisque. 1842, template weapons have shred in Zone Mortalis. Think you just forgot, but maybe you guys are interpreting it as not because the psychic power is not a weapon. So yeah, for that one it was, do you remember what psychic power you used?
It was the Flame Breath. So it was a Flame Breath, a template weapon. I think it's like Strength 4, AP 5 or something like that, but actually I don't even think it was the Zone Mortalis on that one. I just completely forgot we were playing Zone Mortalis and didn't bother to reroll the wounds. So that was not even anything like the psychic powers or anything like that. I just completely forgot we were playing Zone Mortalis and didn't reroll anything.
Yeah, I think we were back and forth on this one actually, because we at the time we didn't think about it, but in retrospect, I'm still not 100% convinced that you would get shred on. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. So if somebody has an actual like ruling on it, I think in the future we'd probably give it shred because I don't know, it's cool.
I think the reason why you give it shred is because even though it's a psychic power, it has a weapon profile. So that's why, because it says, template, strength 4, AP 5, assault 1, soul, blaze, all that stuff. So it has the weapon profile, so therefore it meets the requirements of all template weapons have shred. So I think that would be the ruling for it. But there might be an actual specific rule that says psychic powers are treated as weapons. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything that says that.
Right. So if you have something, if there is something specific on that, point it out. But yeah, I think we'll do that from now on. That kind of makes sense. That seems more correct. Kovlovsky. By the way, Contemptor Dreadnoughts have 3 weapons, actually. A big gun, in this case the Kier's Assault Cannon, Power Fist, and a twin-linked bolter included under the Power Fist. It can be upgraded into something more powerful if you want, so the weapon destroy roll should have been made on the basis of 3 weapons.
Not quite. In the wording for the actual profile itself, the Kier's Pattern Assault Rifle Cannon had that. I almost got it. 3 tries. I almost got it. Is a weapon on its own. The Power Fist with the bolter, it is inbuilt. So it's not a Power Fist and inbuilt. It says Power Fist with inbuilt. You can swap out the inbuilt option it has for like a Melta, I think it's like Plasma, things like that. But it is still part of the fist. So it's just upgrading a weapon to have a different profile, but it's still treated as one weapon.
Next we have Catan. The Praetor should not have saved that hit. You cannot allocate wounds into a challenge unless there's no one left.
You are correct. So whenever you issue a challenge, even if the combatant is slain as part of that challenge is still treated as ongoing until the end of combat. So the only way you're actually able to allocate wounds to somebody who's in a challenge is if there's no one else to allocate wounds to. There was still people I could allocate wounds to, or that could have been allocated wounds. My bad.
To be fair, I don't think you would have done that well anyways in that combat. Okay, last one. Steve L. Duelist. Librarian is support officer. I think you were missing a compulsory HQ choice there, Quirk.
We said that at the beginning of the battle report. We were like, it's so mortalis, so we're going to kind of negate that rule a little bit, and I'm going to take a librarian as my actual HQ support, even though we know it's not a compulsory, it's a support. I think we said that. We said that at the beginning a couple times, didn't we?
Well, yeah, because, okay, so I think we realized partway through the battle report, and we're kind of like, our bad, we didn't catch it. And then when we did the pregame show, we mentioned it very specifically. So, I don't know, maybe you weren't watching. Maybe you just noticed there was a librarian and didn't hear us actually when we were talking about it. But yep, they are a support officer, as we had pointed out, so they can't be your compulsory HQ.
But it was a small game.
In retrospect,
it didn't do much anyway. I managed to fire off like 2 psychic powers that I think killed 1 person. Maybe.
Yeah, but it was one of my Templar brethren or something.
Oh, build a bridge and get over it.
Thanks for leaving comments, guys.
Happy wargaming.